in order to build a house, you have to have a solid foundation. And in order to have a solid foundation, you need to make sure that your ground and everything in the surrounding area is level. Some people pour a concrete foundation. That's what I think is usually done, correct?
Correct.
Concrete. Okay. So with concrete, you need to make sure everything's good, because like we were discussing just before I pressed the camera start, is that you really have to make sure that that is done, or your house will be like sinking into the earth, right?
Brittle, very brittle.
Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
It's very important.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes. So, that process of building a house and going through that is a very challenging thing.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So you have to learn. You have to have tools. You're
not prepared for that.
Okay.
No one tells you, no one shows you, no one teaches you, except maybe if you are a personal trainer or something like that. But you still have to go through that as well.
So going through that whole process, is it can be difficult. So basically, if those aren't done in the house correctly, imagine your house as your mind, right?
Correct.
And if your mind isn't set in the right foundations, a lot of other stuff will be thrown way off.
Right, and that's why it's important to have the correct mindset when you're going to develop that foundation or that base, and that's what I teach in Natural Bodies to Inspire at home, is develop that foundation and base first with your mindset at home.
And see, over the week I was thinking about what different things, that I could bring up during this podcast. And I sat there thinking to myself, I was like, what's one thing right as I got the pump did my counselors first tell me? They were like, your mind has been built on a cracked, warped foundation.
True.
Because all I saw my whole life, from parents to my surroundings at school to everything, like all I could see was the negative aspects.
True, and I found that in the marriage that I had. I was in a terrible marriage, so I found it that all of that stuff that was happening to me, with being 125 pounds, do you think that I could ever sit here right now, talk to you, talk to everybody out here, and tell them how they can get a body that they've always dreamed of? No, my foundation didn't even exist, because I was so used to my foundation, and you know me, David, because you saw me and how skinny I was. You knew that
tremendously.
I could even fathom how to even build or even to assume that I could change my foundation or my base. Because when you're surrounded by negativity, when you're surrounded by despair, when you're just surrounded by people that don't believe in you,
toxic partner possibly, that can
can
put you in some clothing that doesn't fit you correctly, make you look like you're sickly skinny.
Oh yeah, I was sickly skinny because I was put in large clothes. I was put in extra large clothes, or
and everybody knows what that can do to somebody.
Oh yeah, and
everybody.
You don't shop at the men's area. You shop at the teenage boys large, because you can't fit into a men's small or even a men's medium. So when you go through that and you keep going through that for years and years and years and years and years, and you're through that, your mindset
tremendously
is totally destroyed, and you can't even figure that you can do something for yourself. You can't even fathom. That's not even in the cards. There's no way is that in the cards because you're living in that moment. Do you understand?
I lived most of my life in a really negative space.
Oh, yeah, you did. It was hard. It was very hard. Very hard.
Not just dealing with my mother, but dealing with my own condition.
Exactly.
And going to school and, like, being bullied and,
oh, yeah.
like, you know, I'm glad I had a strong enough mind to withstand that because and I then moved up here in 2007 and like that helped kickstart a whole other portion of my life.
Right.
Because I was such in a negative mindset. I was such in a negative space. And yeah, a lot had to do with myself, but a lot had to do with the fact that I was always falling asleep in class, and I was always really tired, and I was always really late to jobs. I was always it's because I had narcolepsy, and everybody around me was calling me lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks when you know.
Yeah, you're not lazy.
When you know in the back of your mind, you're like, if I had if I had somebody that like really truly understood, but nobody did.
Right. Exactly.
Nobody did.
Exactly.
When people first started to notice is when like I started to get my medications checked, my like certain blood work done, certain sleep studies done, and they came back and they were like, yeah, you have narcolepsy. That's why you can't regulate your stuff.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Anyways, sorry about that. That was my daughter.
That is a small world.
Anyways, but yeah, so getting back to what you were saying. So
dealing with a lot of those negative things and then finally getting answers like from your doctors and really coming to a conclusion that these were all your conditions that you had and not being able to regulate anything and not being able to dial anything down for such a long time. And then they give me a couple medications that make where I'm not sleeping all day, every day. Okay. I still have my episodes where my sleep is very unpredictable sometimes, and my awake times and my sleep times are not super predictable. But let me tell you, it beats the world that I was in a couple years ago. So holding on to hope and holding on to that there would be a change made a big difference. I mean, not only did I get my medications dialed in, I started getting neuroprogramming. I started getting hooked up to computers and reprogramming things, watching certain videos, understanding my brainwave function, understanding certain things about myself, really getting to know myself. Because most of my life, all I knew was that negative side, right?
Yeah.
Which would cause me anxiety because I was always worried that I was going to have a spasm or have a narcoleptic attack or...
It's interesting.
You know, like the slightest improvement in my life made my mind realize that those negative thoughts of darkness about possibly ending my own life was just a game my brain was playing on me.
No, I get it. Because when I was in despair in my marriage, you don't think those thoughts creeped in, especially, you know, if you have a cheating ex-wife, and so, you know, that's the hardest thing to even think about right now, you know, is to actually think about you were down that dark road, like you're saying. I felt the same way because I was sickly skinny. My marriage was failing. It was done. A cheating ex-wife. I mean, what do you do?
Which is very much something that's probably not just as a man, but as a human, you realize, like, I can't believe this person that I was supposedly
married to Yeah, and so it
would do that to me.
It destroys your self-worth of what you are.
Oh yeah,
And
tremendously.
But it goes all back to mindset, like we've talked about in the beginning of this whole podcast.
But it isn't easy.
It's heck no, David, it's not.
Like,
it's
yeah,
not
I'm
easy.
I'm still working on like, because like I said, I lived most of my life in this pain bubble from my spasms and narcolepsy and other conditions. So it's like,
it's amazing that you went through that.
And I've jumped a certain degree of progression in my life.
Right.
And that's why I'm trying to also show on this podcast is that it's a journey and it does not stop.
No.
The beast is always seeming at your door at some point, and you have to sit back and you have to ultimately make that choice if you want to battle this beast, or if you want to let it take over your life.
Yeah, and that's the point that I try to make in Natural Bodies to Inspire. You need to have a different mindset, completely different from what you're used to.
Completely.
When you get into Natural Bodies to Inspire, your mindset is going to be completely different than what you can even imagine.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I said about a whole new chapter in your life can come together. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's more important for you to have the right mindset, okay?
Oh yeah, tremendously.
To move on.
To gain progression.
Exactly. But it's not easy. It's not easy.
No, I mean, look at me. I suffered from hundreds of spasms a day since I was really little. I was hiding a mask of happiness. When everybody saw me, that was a mask.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy. I was in pain. And the only way for me to relieve any amount of that pain that I was feeling was to make everybody else smile and laugh.
Yeah. And you did.
I mean, yeah.
You did.
I mean, I did.
You did all the time. When I was around you.
Yeah.
You were a happy boy.
Yeah.
You know?
But that was a mask.
Oh, I know.
Because, it's like,
hard.
so hard. Like we all have our struggles. Some, I wouldn't say are more difficult than others. I would say from each person's perspective, each person would handle a situation completely differently. And
that's what's so great about each person out there. You know what I'm saying? Is because they have their own tale to tell.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what's important for us to tell you our tale.
Oh, yeah.
Of what happened to us in our life. Totally different childhoods.
Totally.
And mine happened with the marriage, the ex. So, but I was always skinny, everyone.
Yeah,
I was always skinny.
He was I remember when I was little, you were always skinny and in bigger and in clothes that didn't fit you that well.
No, nothing actually fit me at all, and I was sickly skinny. So when you have
asthma, it was pretty.
Every time I went camping, I had to have a hospital near me in case I had an asthma attack. I had to go in and get 2 shots in each arm. 2 shots in each arm was not fun.
No.
At 10 years old, 11 years old.
No.
And,
far from that.
So
far from it.
And just the just the self-esteem when you grow up and stuff like that, it goes into your adulthood, and it had to stop. Once I got out of the marriage,
definitely
it had to stop, and I wanted it to stop.
And the thing is it took, after my pump was put in, right?
Yeah.
It took me, I had 2 counselors, a psychiatrist, 2 workers that would come over to my house and take me out and re-socialize me. And then I had a neuro program person. I was seeing 6 mental health professionals for a long time because my whole mindset was so bad. It was really bad. The doctors were honestly, my mental health professionals were honestly really worried about me. Because if I would have not gone through that much intensive mental health, I honestly don't know, like, if I would have accomplished all of these huge feats that I was able to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because I had to get my mind correct.
Yeah, and I had to do the same thing, guys. I had to.
And it's
it's
not huge progressions.
No.
I'm talking about there are many, many moments where I had to sit down, look at myself, look at where I'm headed, look at what I want to do, follow my goal, write it down, and make these certain efforts. And a lot of it, like, I wouldn't have even thought that I would have been able to set all this up and handle things.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done because of your mindset. You think mindset's important? Oh, yeah. Look what you've accomplished, and you're still young and you have more things to accomplish.
Oh, yeah.
And look what we're doing now. I mean, this is awesome. This is amazing.
I know.
I love doing this. I love coming to live with everyone out there.
And when you have somebody like yourself that we like vibe off of each other, it makes it where
we
you
click.
can just, totally.
Like I said, we have a different whole perspective of everything. And that's why this is going to work, because we're going to be able to share our experiences with everyone out there and teach them what or what not to do, and how to start believing in themselves. I know I always try to put the mic down.
Oh, it's okay.
Why.
It's important. It's important that you recognize that it's so important to have all these different things in balance in your life, and it's a work in progress, and it took me a long time to get to this point.
Yeah.
It took me a long time, and to me, a lot of people, they would benefit from, I think, from our experiences and from our stories, because there's somebody out there that can either relate to where I'm at or relate to where you're at, or every in-between thing, because I think that a lot of people out there, especially in this day and age,
especially
people are dealing with
so much,
a lot. And there's an artist that I listen to quite often. His name is Tom McDonald, and he raps a lot about mental health and just how even at the peak where he's at, which he gets millions and millions of views, right? He's making a decent amount of money because he actually went and did all the recording himself.
Wow.
Did all the mixing himself.
Wow.
To see what we're doing right here. When people do a lot of things themselves at the beginning stages of things,
right,
that's what lays down the foundation of making real money long down the road.
Definitely.
But does he deal with anxiety attacks?
Oh,
yeah, and he talks about it in this newest rap song. He talks about it, and it's like you realize that every stage financially, every stage, people can hide behind that mask. Robin Williams did.
Of course, yeah, no.
Robin Williams
I've
did.
Seen it. You got to have a
that dude was hilarious. Brought joy to so
many people.
Many people.
But look how he was about himself, believe it or not. And that's what's really important.
Yeah.
And I preach this. It's funny how my daughter just showed up for a bit, but I tell her about being the whole package.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? All together throughout your whole life, you want to be the whole package. And that means that you want to have everything in balance. And to me, believe it or not, David, it started with my body.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
for me, it did too, in a way.
I didn't. Yeah, exactly. With you as well. But that's what gave me the confidence, is when I started to believe in myself that I can develop a body like this. And I have no right not to share that. I have no right not to share that with anybody on how to teach them how to develop this kind of mental toughness
Oh, yeah.
This mindset,
Oh, yeah.
the attitude, and the body itself. And that's what I'm so excited about, the passion that I have with you, David.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when we come and do these podcasts,
Oh, yeah.
the passion is so there. And because I know that deep down inside, each and every one of you can develop this mindset
Yeah.
that we're talking about,
Yeah.
and develop the body, of course, through Natural Bodies to Inspire. But it starts with you, and it always, always, always in my business, I always talk about hashtag why not you. Why not you?
Yeah.
And that's what's important about mindset, and that's why I
Oh,
love
yeah.
talking about this, because it's 90% right here. It's not right here, guys. It's not here. It's
No.
90% right here.
I think that this is a byproduct of
Yes.
getting this in focus and in line. You know, I think for the longest time I was in this like mindset of like everything is dark, gloomy, negative. I don't have anything. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have enough of this. I don't have, like you're just like in this negative spin, in this dark, dense hole, right?
Yeah.
And it took so long for me to start to see some light that, because I was drenched in that way of really functioning and living as a person here on earth. Like I was in this like whole like frame of mind of like looking at people and going like that person's in excellent shape.
Yeah.
There's no way I could look at myself and even now looking back, and it's been like almost 5 years of consistently working out and making that like a part of my life. That's really what helped kickstart everything. But to like the whole picture is I had to get everything, relationships, family, like I was a much different person than sitting here in front of you right now. Like I had to go through a huge growth spurt in literally like 5-6 years. I forgave my mom. She forgave me. I let her leave this earth in some peace to her soul. My Uncle Ronnie and I really didn't see eye to eye. Auntie Linda always went to bat for me. And so forgiving these people.
Yeah, that's important.
True forgiveness. Because my family said, hey, even my dad said, hey, if you don't want to say bye, if you don't want to come down here, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Well, me, in the back of my head, knowing me, I was like, I have to go through this difficult moment, grow through it, release them of their negative weights that are holding them from flying to heaven.
Right.
And by me doing that, like it allowed them to leave here a lot lighter, a lot brighter.
Yeah.
And having family say to me like, I don't know how you did it. And I'm like, I don't know either, because there were many times where I didn't want to walk into the hospital room where my mother was.
Yeah.
Can you turn that light off?
Yes, I can.
Please? I think some point.
And you know, that's a good point, because now you need to bring up the people that inspire you. And my best friend, Ronnie Knight, that passed away at 48, God, be with him.
Yeah.
he inspired me to develop my mental toughness. Do you see what I'm saying? And that was important to me when I was living in my apartment.
Yeah.
And when I first, developed my whole mental attitude and being with Ronnie, he showed me how to be positive and expect great things in my life. And that's important to have that kind of person with you to walk on this earth that can give you that inspiration. And that's why Natural Bodies is inspired by Ronnie on the dumbbells, where I have his initials on the logo. So it's so crucial that you have to have that mindset and that frame, and everything is going to come in perspective. And that's what's having the whole package. It's like what you said.
Oh, yeah.
The spiritual side. I thank God every day.
Oh, yeah.
As well as you do.
Yeah.
To be with you guys right now, I thank God every day that I'm allowed to have this body to inspire people to develop this mindset and to have everything that goes with it. And that's what's important, is about having the whole package, having the mindset, the character, the body, everything, the positive attitude. I mean, I wake up happy, and of course there's days that I don't, but do you see what I'm saying? I choose to be that way.
Oh, yeah.
I choose to be that way, and that's what makes you successful in life. And we're not talking about monetary. We're not talking about money. But we're talking about
it's defining what success is, and what
different for everybody.
Oh, and hitting your certain goals and leading you more into what success means for you, because a lot of people try to shove things down your throat and saying, "Hey, this is what makes you successful. Driving this really expensive car is what makes you successful." And to certain people in this world, that is just how they see life, and that is perfectly fine, because that is how they view their life, and they have every right to. But if there are people out there that want to improve on their life and on multiple planes, on multiple different subjects, listening to us is definitely an insight to improving your life in an actual way of improving, not just saying it from a materialistic point of view.
So you're gonna challenge yourself to be better when you join Natural Bodies to Inspire. When you see our podcast, you're gonna challenge yourself to be better. You're like David and I are talking about. The mindset and the foundation is so vitally important. So that's what we want to talk about today, and pretty much everything that we've been talking about. There's so many things that you can develop that mindset. I guess the biggest thing is you need to believe in yourself that you can do what we're talking about, having the body that you want. And like I said, it starts with you. And that's the biggest key, is that you need to believe in yourself. You have to love yourself for who you are right now, even if you don't have the body you want, or you have the mindset, or anything that's going on in your life right now that's positive. You have to believe that you can change that. And that was the hardest thing for me, living in an apartment, from my beautiful home, is to actually see myself maybe someday that I can actually do that. I can actually have that kind of body. Or that mindset.
Definitely. And I agree. I think overall, this whole podcast today was basically showing you guys, this is just one aspect. This is the foundation, right?
Correct.
So, to me, going through the process of learning these things, going through this process and having the dedication to go to the gym. And I looked at myself, how many times I looked at myself in the mirror, and literally I would say, honestly, 3+ years went by. And then finally I was at the gym one day with my oxygen, because I have to work out with oxygen. I have to do a lot of my physical activities, my physical therapy, all this stuff with my oxygen. And you know what? I have so many more people come up to me and they they already know, hey, we know you're dealing with cerebral palsy and narcolepsy.
Right.
And now you have one more additional thing and you're still in here.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't curled up in a ball.
Yeah.
And
Given
secluded yourself.
Yeah.
And been like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm nope, no more.
That's
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't given up. I have not given up. And there are many, and I want to really strive to nail this home, is that leveling out the dirt to pour your foundation takes time.
Yeah.
And there are no limits, there are no set standards.
Nope.
Of saying, hey, now you can go to the next step, or now no, it's whatever steps that make an improvement on your life is what I think you should strive to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're able to do that, then there is clearly you're on your way. But there's like I said in the last podcast, there is no end point. There's always this constant journey, and it's like a lot of people that first go to the gym, they won't see results like I did. Nope. They won't, because you look at yourself all the time.
Right,
okay?
right.
You do.
Right.
And when I started to see people notice changes, like I sometimes will wear a hoodie and and I will like sweat and be nasty from it. Go home and like, I am glad to take a shower right now because I kicked some major, but I nailed demons to the walls. I threw all those negative, aggressive thoughts in my brain at the weights.
Yeah.
And that's one way that I battled those dark thoughts.
You've changed your whole lifestyle, David, and we haven't even talked about lifestyle. That might be another podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to change a little bit about you gradually. We're not talking, this is not going to happen overnight. You're not going to be changing your mindset to 90% positive. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm not even at that percentage yet, man.
No, me neither. But you just really gotta believe that someone's guiding you, whether it's God above or a deceased person. Someone is guiding you. Someone is guiding you.
Oh yeah.
To do something
tremendously.
And like I said, I believe, this is just in my heart, everyone. I believe when you develop the mindset and the body that you want and the health that you want or that you need.
Yep.
Because you could agree with that. You could agree because you are more healthier than you could ever imagine.
Oh yeah.
Thank God. You know. And,
yes.
And I'm telling you, when you develop that mindset and the body and the belief and that mindset, what is anything going to stop?
And try not to pay attention to. Try not to pay attention too much to other people's journeys. No, I have a lot. I see a lot of people on social media. Yeah. They look at what somebody else what they have been doing.
Right.
And they'll sit there and go, man, I really wish I could do a podcast. I really wish that I could do something creative, or I wish I could do this or that or whatever in my life. And they don't sit back and like realize that the universe moves puzzle pieces together, like Chad, someone in our in my family, in the circle.
Yep. Okay, I know very well.
In the circle, just he knew, he knew. So
he came to the gym. He came to the gym where I go. Okay. And I only work out twice a week, and I don't mind sharing that with anybody.
Oh, no.
I do not mind sharing that twice a week to develop this kind of body, and you can get to that point. That's True Natural Bodies to Inspire, and that's why I said you got to start at home. But he came to the gym.
Yeah.
And he says,
"Oh man,
you know what you need to do?"
this is a great story.
I said, "What?" He says, "You need to get a hold of David." I said, "Yeah, David's too busy. He's doing his art. He's doing podcasts. He's busy. He's always traveling. He's having a great life. I'm so happy for him." No. You guys need to do a podcast. And then I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You think he'd want to do that? Yes, I'm pretty sure he would want to do that.
Yeah.
So then maybe a couple days
Yep.
after I talked to Chad.
This is wild, man.
I'm thinking in my mind, really?
Yeah.
David, you think David would want to do a podcast with me? Yeah, but he goes to the gym and he's developing a great-looking body, and I'm developing my body. I'm 56 and he's in his 30s or whatever.
Yeah,
Why would he? And this is what I'm thinking, David.
Yeah.
Here we go, guys. Why would David want to do anything with me? Seriously, he is busy. He's successful in what he does with his Instagram followers and or YouTube followers or whatever. You know, I'm learning about this, guys. So this is all new to me, and I'm like, why would I'm not going to reach out to him? No. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm okay. Everything's good. But you know what? Somebody was telling me.
Yep.
You know what? Maybe you should. I was going to, but then all of a sudden I look on my message and there's David. Yep. Hey, you're looking pretty darn good, Rod. Why don't we do a video together?
Yep.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and you were psyched at
and
how
you
it
didn't
came
talk
out.
to Chad, did you?
No. I actually didn't.
Yeah, and I didn't talk to David. So I was
it's a funny way the world works, and once you get out of that, like a lot of people, they just look at podcasts from, I don't really have something that would be entertaining or very knowledge that like people would really want to hear about.
Right.
And to me, podcasts right now are so huge, and they're going to continue to get bigger as time goes on, because this is actually coming to you guys from where we are and what we want to talk about. There's no person up above like that is on this earth that is saying, hey, this is the script. This is what we want you to talk about. Yep. This is on your talk show to get on NBC, ABC, CBS, all that. No, the podcast form has taken so much from regular TV that a lot of people are now learning new things from podcasts, are getting new knowledge, different perspectives of how people live their life. And if you come at people from the most honest that a person can possibly be,
and share from their heart, daily, weekly.
Weekly.
We're gonna be
it matters. So these things slowly add up.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that somebody can come up to you and say, hey, you should definitely do this podcast. It's ultimately up to that individual person's perspective and what's going on in their life. Because I've asked people several times to do something like this.
Why wouldn't they?
Because some people are so short-sighted on, like, oh, this is how there's not, what am I going to get from this? But people don't realize that every podcast that you put out, every single podcast consistently makes the big difference.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's nothing that, like, you don't wake up and, I mean, there's not many people, unless you get like a lucky super viral video, that would just pop off. It's, when it comes to podcasts, if you come at people from a real perspective,
Mm-hmm.
as honest as you can be,
Yeah.
from a loving and understanding position,
True.
and you can share things and you can talk about different topics and you can just act like we're like actually like if you were in the living room
Right.
like with us right now,
Right.
like that is the kind of conversation that I like, and not over scripting something, and not like podcasts are very unscripted but scripted in certain ways. So
Well, we're actually we talked about foundation and
Yeah.
base. Okay, so if that's a script, I think that was a fantastic script because we just
Yeah.
shared from our heart about mindset with the foundation and the base, and overcoming all of the stuff that we had to overcome in our livelihoods as a child and as a male adult, with a marriage. So
because I know that affected that, like, how did you view yourself when you were in that marriage, right? How when you woke up,
wow.
when you woke up and you were like, what am I
You know
what
what
am
I
I
did?
what
You
am
know
I
what I did?
doing?
You know what I did? I did
What
not.
am I doing?
What was so sad is that I would go. I was in the car sales, right?
Yep.
Okay, I sold curly
Yep.
vacuums door to door, and then I
Yep.
went into car sales. So when I was selling cars, I was happy.
Yeah.
But I had to make on commission, so I had to sell cars, right?
Mhm.
Because you only get paid, I don't know, $8 an hour or whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that was good. I was not thinking about home. Do you understand? I was not thinking about home, but when
And that is the
when
sad
I-
part.
when-
That is the
is that
sad
sad
part.
or
That
what?
is
and
that
I
makes you realize
and
like
I had a brand new baby and everything else like
Yeah.
that. But you know what I would do, David? I'm going to be straight up with you. I
Yeah.
don't even know if you knew this or not, because I think Marilyn and Richard and my mom and my dad, of course, knew that I would go gamble. I would go gamble and not go home.
a distraction from your pain
I did not want to go home.
because it was painful
It was because I
and
knew
degrading.
I was degrading and everything else like that, because I knew what I was walking into when I walked into my house.
And you never want that feeling
I don't
when
ever,
you go home.
ever, no.
When
So,
you go home, you want your home to be this
yeah,
place of rest, this place
And
of
love.
like love,
Yeah.
and a place where you can feel like you don't
accepted.
have to. Yeah, and you don't have to fake who.
No,
you
you don't have to
like. You don't
fake.
have to do
No.
that.
No.
But in the situation that you were in, it wasn't easy.
What does this have to do with Natural Bodies to Inspire? This is our story, David. This is our story, and this is my story. So that's what's so important.
Because we all have our demons.
Exactly.
We all have our
And-
darknesses.
and
You
that's
have to find your way through the darkness to find your light.
exactly. And that was so important for me, was to not go home, to gamble till 6 o'clock in the morning, and then go back to work after I took
Oh,
a shower, and then do
dude.
it again. And if I didn't sell a car, that's where I was so upset, because I knew that I didn't make money, and I had to go and I had to gamble to make money. And here I am, despaired about my life, despaired about my marriage, despaired about my looks, despaired about my sickly, skinny looks, that, anything could happen to me and I'd be in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I was just so distraught and so worried about
Oh yeah.
what was going to happen to me. And then, all of a sudden, I'm out of the marriage. I'm with my buddy Ronnie, and we're hanging out and we're working together and we're having a great time. And
Yeah.
he made me feel like $1 million. You believe that? He made me feel like $1 million, David. And it was important for me to feel that way, because that's when I started believing in myself that I could do something better with my body, my health, and my mind. Is that crazy or what? Someone next to me made me feel like $1 million to where I was in my life. And by hanging around with somebody like that, and that's what I like, hanging around with you,
Thank you.
because I like this camaraderie
Me too.
that we have together.
It's
That
natural, man. It's not
natural,
forced.
Exactly, and that we can expand on this and we can
Oh,
help
yeah.
others. And
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's what's so important about this whole thing in the podcast, is trying to help others out there.
And it's talking about many different
Yeah.
subjects,
Yeah.
many different things. We might talk about health one day. We might talk about another subject another day. But the biggest thing is we will never try to introduce more negative thoughts or energy into your life, because let me tell you, we already get that. All of us do.
Yep.
And it would be nice for a change to kind of get from different perspectives and different struggles on how that person lives their life.
True.
Because there are many people that probably were in certain situations like yourself that were going throughout their life. They thought they had found that certain someone, and sometimes in life people will not steer you down the right path.
No,
and they're not meant to always go on that path with you either.
It's so important. That's true. It's so important to hang around with people that influence you to become better in your life. And once you can reach that pedestal in your life, you know, a lot of people in my job, and I'm in wireless sales for cell phones.
Yeah.
They ask me, they say, there's something about your aura that gives off an excitement that I want to be around. And I'm like, wow, I guess that's important.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm happy to be at my job.
Totally.
But my passion is what? Being here with you, talking about everything under the sun.
And someday,
yeah,
passions can replace that stream of revenue or help even add to it.
Of course.
Okay? That you don't have to feel like you have to get validation from a significant other, a coworker, a family member, a friend. It's if you can look at yourself in the mirror, because guess what? At the end of the night, we all go home, right?
Yep.
We all go home.
Yep.
You go home, I go home.
Yep.
And we're getting ready to kind of settle down for the day, the night. And you look at yourself in the mirror. Even if you have a significant other in the room, you go to sleep by yourself.
Yeah, of course you do.
So if you are not happy with yourself,
wow.
It's like nobody can be like, hey, pick yourself up today. Oh, it's going to be good. No, it's because if you're in such a shitty mood, the only person that can ultimately bring you out of it is yourself.
Exactly.
And I'm not completely perfect on this, but I have definitely made a lot more improvements on this. But
do you know what's in my mirror? In my bathroom?
What is it?
Just do it. Just do it.
That makes so much sense, because if you look at people that have overcome things or made like these heights of like Michael Jordan and all these other like Kobe's, and if you look at them and you look at their mindset, what sets these top players and these top people in these sports apart is the fact that I'm not talking just about basketball, football.
No.
I'm talking, it could be snowboarding, skiing,
it
could be anything. What sets the greats apart
is
their attitude and mindset. Because Tiger Woods, okay?
Yeah.
He had a very zen mom, very zen mother, and a very, a father, a very supportive father, right?
Yeah.
You combine those two.
Oh, my gosh.
And it turned him into this beast of a champion.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
A beast.
Yeah. He could probably pick up anything, a bat, a football, or anything.
The dude
and develop that mindset for that. And
the dude and guess what? His parents. Because some people in this life, in this world that we live in, were born to certain parents. And I'm not saying that necessarily helps them 100%, but it definitely gives them a little bit of a leg up. But what you can do, like me, I look at Tiger Woods and I'm like, when he's in those key moments, those clutch moments, those moments where you're like, he needs, if he gets this in, he gets the green jacket, right?
Oh, yeah.
He gets that green jacket, right?
Yeah.
So getting into that mindset and seeing these like top people, what sets them apart is their mindset and their effort to constantly improve on their life.
Exactly. And that's what changes your lifestyle. And let me give you an example. And again, this is not to brag. This is not to talk about, oh, look at me. But I'm going to tell you, when I developed that mindset, I developed this body. And that's why I'm teaching, trying to teach people, right? And I still got to have that faith that this is going to work. I'm going to be teaching people. I have to believe in that, right?
Yeah.
I have to believe in that. And what it has done, though, it's gone into my job. And I'll just give you an example. Out of 1,500 reps, I was number 6 in the nation. So, okay, selling cell phones. So why is it, David, why is it that I can take that mindset, that belief, that attitude, that development, apply it to my body, right? Develop my mind, and then go into a job. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And develop that and be successful in my sales job.
Well, it makes a lot of sense to me because you started out like realizing, oh, okay, I want to put on some muscle. I want to put on that. So it's like, it was like all these like slow like things that started to add up. You did a fitness competition. You've done like, you could constantly introduce these heights that not everybody hits.
Right. But I was sickly skinny and
here's the thing,
and had no faith.
But you started to learn to have faith. You planted a seed. An actual seed in your brain. Not a money seed like those greedy, grubby handlers of money changers of the church do. You planted a seed of like, hey, if I want to change my life, if I want to change my mind, I have to start here. And then it just slowly, like, all these different victories and different things that you've done, like, have added up to
I did a movie, The Mustang. I'm a border patrol agent in the movie The Mustang.
To build your confidence. There's all these journeys that people don't look at so closely, but they add for you to reach another journey and reach another goal and reach another thing. And it isn't easy.
No.
And to finish up today, I just want everybody to just kind of sit back tonight, whenever you view this, and really realize that having a solid foundation is the key to having many other things come into your life by putting the effort out there. Not some magical wish. No, it's actual putting it out there. And you know what? That is what people get inspired by. It's actually hearing from real people, not fake.
No, so true.
You have to be honest.
So true.
And when you look at yourself in the mirror tonight, and you're sitting and you stare at a mirror, and you have to look at yourself before you go to sleep, really realize, like, hey, if I can do something a little bit different tomorrow, I will try my best. If you don't even change, like, a whole bunch of percentage points, say you just improve just like 5% or 8% that day, that's 8% more towards changing your mind
Yep.
than like having this outrageous number of like 30% or 40% or 50. That's lofty boo-boo whatever stuff. Like, so that's really what I want you to focus on is those small journeys,
Yes.
because that's what makes the difference. So
But you gotta step through the door.
Yep.
You gotta take that first step.
Yep.
And you gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta love yourself for who you
Yes.
are right now, and
Yes.
believe that you can have the body and the mindset and the
Yes.
health that you have always wanted.
Yes.
Wherever you're at in your life right now, you have to believe that, and it starts
Yes.
right here. It starts tonight. It
Yes.
starts wherever you're at. It starts right now.
Yeah.
And when you're ready to join Natural Bodies to Inspire, let me or David know.
Yeah.
Because you're not just going to get a health and body coach, and David knows this.
Yeah.
You're going to get someone that's right with you
Yep.
throughout the whole thing.
And I want these videos also to be this thing out there that shows people that what they can accomplish, and if they want to do other things, to definitely reach out to you.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
and
weightlifting or working out. It's all
No.
about here. But we're talking about me personally with my business, Natural Bodies to Inspire, is to talk about developing the base or the foundation and the base on your body, and then your mindset first follows that. So mindset,
Yeah.
and then you develop your foundation and base.
Yeah, and so again, we're going to be doing a podcast once a week on Sundays, and then I'm going to go home and edit all of it and then put it out there.
You're
But
amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
What he does, absolutely amazing. I couldn't do it. Okay, maybe if I had the mindset.
Yeah,
Right,
and like
right?
15 more like years of
Yeah, 15
knowledge
years of
added
this.
on, like lighting and
Yeah,
audio and stuff. But it's just it's all about starting and learning, and I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing
Thank you.
today is just really, to close it out, like I said, is just when you go to close your eyes tonight, are you happy with what you've done during that day? Have you made like even 8% of an increase towards your mindset of a change? It could be that small, it could be bigger, it could be anything in between. But just realize that that there are people out there that care, and
we do definitely care,
you know.
and we care so much that we want to help you to develop that. And David knows this. I am, ready to teach people and help them to develop this mindset and develop their body and health.
Yep.
And but it starts with you to believe in yourself, and you gotta love yourself for who you are now. You have to. You actually love yourself for who you are now.
Super important.
It is. And then you can see yourself where you can become. Because I didn't see myself being here on this couch with David on Sunday on, what is it, November 13th?
No.
14th? What's the date today? The 14th?
I think it's the 14th.
Yeah. Did we ever think about that? Heck no.
No.
And I've known David since he was in diapers. So
Yep.
is that just crazy? But it all starts with you. And we believe in
Totally.
you. And we totally understand where you're at.
100%.
Okay? We don't know where you're at in your life, okay?
100%.
Maybe our stories have given you a little bit more insight of who we are that can say, wow, I guess my life wasn't that bad. Did you hear what David and Rod talked about? So,
Yeah.
but it could be, but it doesn't matter because it all starts with you guys out there and believing in yourself. And man, I'm so excited that we're going to come to you guys and talk about this. Because
And
it's
as
so
videos,
important.
and as we put out more videos, and as we talk, the foundation that we are going to lie down even more and more, we'll show you how to eventually build a solid house of your mind.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, anyways, that's it for today.
Wow.
That was amazing. And
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was
absolutely
great.
amazing. And thank you guys for being
was
with us
great,
again,
yeah.
and we'll see you very soon.
Definitely.
Guys,
Sounds
have a
good.
great rest of the week because you choose to, okay?
'Kay.
Hashtag, why not you?
Why not you?
Okay?
Why
Just
not
do
you?
it. Just do it.
Just
Believe
do
in
it.
yourself.
Just do it.